My
Are
body.
live. Welcome, everyone. Um, I am here with Dr. Gary Wohlman, and we are going to talk about some many amazing topics today. And I'm Dr. Gabriella Kőrösi. And if you guys have seen our previous session, it was a great success, and we decided to come back again. And we're probably going to come back again and again. And this is going to become at some point one amazing book. So I just going to invite Dr. Gary just to say a few words about himself to get started off, and then we'll start a conversation about intention and authenticity today.
What is authenticity? It's always good to start in my presentation coaching a session, a presentation, a seminar or workshop, an online counseling or mentoring connection with a question. Why do I ask you a question when we start? I ask you a question when we start to engage the audience, but not as a tool or a technique or a tip or something that's simply mechanical. No, 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 no. We are humans in this physical body. We are spirit having a human experience in this lifetime. And I've always been an authentic character. I've been definitely a colorful character, a
Yes, you
rebel.
are.
Oh my God. Talk about authenticity. That's a little bit of a distracting thought, but it's not a distracting thought at all. I live on the top of a mountain in a permaculture community here in Australia. And one day, about, oh my goodness, 3, 4 years ago, I was doing my morning meditation to help me get into my authentic intuition, wisdom, natural, trusting nature, as I do every morning. And suddenly I felt something to my left. What is this? And I saw this broke me up. I saw a lineup of kangaroos that were like watching on the outside of the fence. They were all lined up in this direction while I was over there. They were watching me do my movements like this colorful
Oh, wow.
character. Like, what's going on here? They're all like lined up
How
like they're watching a
cool.
ball game or something. So I I've always been like this. I've always been, the character, the one that people are going, look at him, he's doing 2.5 somersaults and so my sense is, we all have this beautiful, authentic, precious, passionate presence and nature, and it gets covered up with
Mhm.
fears about not being heard, fears about being rejected, fears about
Yeah.
being ostracized. We all have the same. And so my work in the world, my focus is like Michelangelo, who said, I saw the angel already in that marble, and I chiseled everything else away until I set that angel. In this case, I set the authenticity free. Underneath the physical tensions, we have emotional self talk and holding patterns that are keeping these tensions and these trial and tribulation survival tools and techniques that are not our true selves, these masks alive. And then once those release, the physical layer, the emotional holding pattern, then, only then, does the creativity, the true authenticity, one's truest nature emerge. So this for me is a path, it's a mission, it's a service to humanity, and it's a way that I go about every waking moment when I can to be in service to who we art, A-R-T, capital A-R-T with a small e, who we art as we all fully embrace our own true natural part. So that's how I'd start off by talking about authenticity. It's an unraveling of the growling and the fire and the water and the air and the earth and the all the elements aligned as one. This is
I
how I
love
love
it.
living life. Yes, me too.
I love it.
Cheers.
And I think you touched on something quite important. I think the fear. I think the fear of people for being, hello, Jack. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about authenticity with Dr. Gary Wolfman. And I think I do believe that in our society today, there's a lot of fear of truly showing who you are. And I think you are right when you say that many people wear some kind of mask, whether it's actual mascara or not, when it comes to women or something else. But I do think that there's so much expectation that people do put on those additional layers and they hide beneath. And I just love this image of you doing your morning movements and you have a line of kangaroos watching you. That's just like, that would be such a postcard, from the top of the mountain, from Dr. Gary, doing the morning movements. And I totally visualize that when you were saying that. I'm just like, I love it. So, what you think would be the good ways to help people start to pull away these layers that were put on by societal expectations or by how they were raised or by fear, is how we can start to pull away these layers so people can find their true authentic themselves and live the life of really who they are,
Yeah.
without those expectations.
Such a good question, Gabriella. Ah, as I said, it's an unraveling, an untangling of everything unlike that essence, that angel, that authentic, passionate, precious presence that's already within. What I find is, on the one hand, when I'm being inauthentic and I'm wearing a mask, and we all wear a
Hmm.
mask from time to time under societal pressure in order to look good, in order to get good grades, in order to please mommy and daddy, any
Yeah, whatever it
significant
is.
other, whatever and whoever and whatever that authority figure is, we cower and we put on these false personas in order to survive with that person who may be expecting, or that school, or that lover, or that partner, that boss, or someone who's
Mhm.
acting bossy and acts as though they know the truth. We do that in order to please people, and when I do that, I notice that there's a part of me that feels like a whining little dog, that my
Mm.
energy goes down. My energy, my physical energy of the body goes down, and my voice might get more shrill, and I make quick movements, or I forget. These are signs that I'm coming from a place that's not authentic. And for
Mhm.
me, one of the practices that I use, actually, I have a lot of practices that I use that I'm happy to share with Jack or anyone else who's listening now and in the future and in the past. We can play with time here.
Yes, we can.
One of my favorite exercises, my very favorite exercise
Mhm.
actually, is one that after all these years of being a champion springboard diver, track star, gymnast, court jester, body therapist, I have so many ways to physicalize communication. And this one particular practice has come to me over many, many years. I'm going to be 75 at the end of this year. And what this keeps me young, it's a simple practice that helps me nurture.
Okay.
Take a deep breath in, everybody. That's right. Inspire, take a even fuller breath in, fully inspiring, bringing in inspired thoughts. Good. And to empower, a sound of deepening. When I practice nurturing myself first,
Mhm.
inspiring myself first with every thought, word, action, interaction, I can communicate, writing and song and dream, and then empower myself first. Then I come from an authentic place. And I have a
Mhm.
very simple practice that's simply the 5 vowels of the alphabet. The 5 vowels in our alphabet happen to be something I've created, this cool, simple exercise. I know I've shared it with you before, yet it's always in a different context. I like to do it in the waterfall near where I live here on this
Uh-huh.
mountain. And I do it anywhere. I do it all the time throughout the day because it resets my calibrating, my true authentic nature. And here it is. You can do it with me. It's
Okay.
simply the sounds of A, E, I, O, U. Yeah, well, A, E,
Yeah.
I, O, U. But it's not just saying the words. It's not
Mhm.
about staying in your head. Watch this. So as I say the word ah, or the sound ah, you can
Ah.
feel that ah is an
Ah. Mhm.
opening of this band around the chest and
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
And with that, I have an affirmation that I hold on to, that I focus on,
Mhm.
which is I am love, lover, and beloved, taken from the Sufi tradition. I am love. I am the remedy. May the message of love, of life, of God go far and wide. So the ah sound opens this horizontal
Mhm.
band of creating a rapport with myself and all beings, all sentient beings, my receptivity, my ability to receive fresh inspiration, all that in a sound and often a movement that's horizontal. So we do it together. Ah.
Ah.
Good. And breathing
Yeah.
that all the way in now. The next sound is I.
Ah,
The e, it goes
E,
upwards, e, and
E.
this is about freeing the neck center. The
Mhm.
vibration goes in through the neck, e, and it's not just an e, it's y. So you're this is all vibrating, and the words that go that with that, for me, you can make up your own words. This is what I
Yeah.
use: is I am the wish. I am the wish. I am the light, the truth, and the way, or I am the rising towards the light. Whatever works for you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And as I
Yeah.
sit in the waterfall, I picture the trees rising to the light as I'm sitting there and I watch the trees, and I make the sound, which is also connected with it's safe and easy for me to share my wisdom, my voice, and my message with you from this neck center through which we communicate. E
Mhm.
going upwards, everyone together. A beautiful feeling. Feel the
I love it.
vibration in this. It's
Yeah,
excellent.
I love the vibration that comes with it.
The
Yeah.
Thank you. The third sound is I, the I am presence, the I
Mhm.
am that I've transformed, as I love to be creative, the expression I am that I am to I am that I art, because I art expressive and I art creative, and we all art that
Yes.
underneath it all. And so I am that I art, which adds another level of I am what I create myself in the most fullest expression and authenticity and full-bodied connection with. So the I is going up and down at the same time
Okay.
to the light and to the roots. And we do the I am that I art, for that focusing on that intention with whatever you're ready to create
Okay.
in your inner and outer world. I feel that, how it feels. It's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? Already, I know you who are
It's a very
practicing.
interesting feeling. It really feels like this shift, especially as you move your hands with it. It's
I'm
interesting.
doing the hands to make a picture, which I
Yeah.
often do when I'm doing my presentation coaching,
Yes.
to have the verbal words, the vocal sounds, and the visual delivery all match. So I'm showing you a picture of where this sound goes up and down alignment at the same time, to the heights and to the depths. The
Yeah.
fourth sound is O, which is I
Oh.
see as a circular honoring of all circular cyclical processes of which we humans, plants, nature, all sentient beings, we
Mhm.
are a part of cyclical, easy for me to say, processes. So
Yeah.
what am I saying by this? I'm saying that by honoring all cyclical processes of which we are a part, this creates another level of feeling connected with this with all, with the source. And so
Yes.
I often put my hands together in a circle, or I put my hands on my belly, or I make circular movements as I'm standing, because often I do this as a
Mhm.
dance as well. And I go, oh, I am source. And then the fifth sound, A-I-O-U, is
Mm.
like a didgeridoo going down through the base of the spine towards the center of the molten earth. That's a way of expressing I am the embodiment of my highest visions and my deepest longings. I am the embodiment of all that is here to be healed and celebrated in evolving humanity. Whatever words work for you, it doesn't actually matter as long as you
Yeah.
have a focus. So this is going down to connect with your deepest knowing, your deepest
Okay.
gut feelings, trusting the foundation that supports you at the base of your spine. Ooh. And I breathe in. And finally, I do all 5 sounds and movements together in one movement. And I often repeat this 5 times because I like 5 times 5
Okay.
as a dance. So it looks like this. Do it with me.
I. Oh.
You got to practice that enough that
Yeah,
you
I
can do
got
it
lost.
in one breath. That's easy. No, the practice is, let's do it together, everyone. The practice is take a deep breath in first so that you have enough breath to do it all on one
Okay.
exhalation. So that's the essence of how this works. Take a deep breath in first. Now,
I. I.
So when I do that throughout the day, and I often do that for sequences of 5 times 5, or it doesn't even matter. Sometimes I even think it or breathe it.
Mhm.
It puts me into the zone of connecting with my authentic nature. And I love to do it
Mhm.
in nature. But that's a practice. And it's a
I
practice
love
that
it.
I do. It works. It's almost immediate. I've been doing it for so many years, refining it. Now it's so simple. What could be simpler than A-E-I-O-U, the 5 vowels in our alphabet? It's just so cool that for me sets me into a place of authenticity where I don't have to, nobody has to rehearse to be ourselves. We already
Yeah.
are what we am. And so,
But yet it's so interesting because like in so many like even movies, they show when people practice in front of a mirror to be somebody else. Like you shouldn't have to practice for an interview, for whatever, even just for this, like what we are doing right now. There's people who want a specific script or want to practice to what they're gonna say. I I truly believe in just saying whatever comes to you in the moment because that's the more natural, the more authentic self. If you keep practicing something over and over in front of a mirror, I just feel like it loses its authenticity,
well, it
instead of
does.
being in the moment and just say what comes to you naturally in this specific space and time during this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. I want to add another layer to that, Gabriella,
Okay.
and that is this, that a lot of the work that I do in teaching and training people to multi-sensorize our self-talk, our renewing self-talk,
Mhm.
is to include mirror work, which can be very valuable. So you and I are looking at each other and
Yes.
ourselves in the mirror, and the mirror being the actual physical field that is the camera that we
Yes.
have in front of us. So I'm just resetting my settings here because there we disappeared for a second. So I see you, I see me. So if I look at myself in the mirror and I provide three key words, that's another way of resetting my
Mhm.
zonality, my tonality, my authenticity before I speak. One of the things you, who are a listener, viewer, can practice in the mirror or watching yourself as you're on a Zoom call like I am right now is to say 3 key words that match your essence with gestures that match, and then saying it to the person in the mirror. I am the
Okay.
mirror and the face in it. I say it to the mirror, to the one looking back at me, which is, of course, myself, better be, that until the person looking back at me gets it, really gets it. So I'm going to say my favorite 3 keywords about
Okay.
what for me is my essence, my authentic quintessence of who I truly are. We all have some key expressions. For me, I say, and watch my gestures and sounds as I put the verbal, vocal, visual all together. I say, I am creative. Oh
Mhm.
boy, am I creative. I am creative. Yes. I am playful. And it can be anything. It can be, but
Mhm.
what look, it has to look playful. It's not just words. It's not just
Yeah.
slapping a word and throwing an intellectual comment to think that's enough. No, no. I am embodying playfulness. Yes, I
Mhm.
am. Yes, I are. And I am transformational. And I do that with full intent, like cutting through a block, breaking through something. So when I say that to the mirror, it may look like something like this. Gary, when you speak, you are creative. Yes,
Mhm.
you are. You are playful and you
Mhm.
are transformational. And when I say that to the person in the mirror who's looking back at me, until the person in the mirror with the eye contact gets
Mhm.
that communication, then it's that mirror work becomes extremely valuable as a form of practice.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I do agree with using the mirror that way, and I just love the way you put that and kind of made it playful and fun, and I know that there's a lot of research and thought being put into the fact that we hear our voice most often because our thoughts, our voice, we hear that more than anything else. So if you keep saying these things to yourself, you convince yourself because you are the person who you hear most. So when you go dig deep down and share these words with you that you feel like you're too authentic yourself, I believe that you can live more authentically. um,
Absolutely.
what
Yeah.
I was kind of more talking about is people who try to convince themselves that they are something else, or like
Oh,
they
okay.
prep
Yeah.
for a business meeting or whatever to be perfect, instead of allowing themselves just to be who they are and speak from their heart and from their knowledge. I do have kind of a similar like mantra type of thing that I do say to myself under the shower, out in nature. Um, that I am love, and usually, I feel my heart or just open my arms that I am love, and I'm joy, and I'm gratefulness, and my hope is. My home is stillness, because I do believe that being still in the moment is allow us to kind of just observe and be there where we are in the moment. And I think it's really important in today's society when everybody just runs all over the place, instead of just like sometimes stopping and just doing those movements what you talked about, or speaking these words, or creating sounds, or singing with the river, or walking with the kangaroos, whatever it is, just to be in that moment and finding ourselves in the moment, instead of running somewhere where
Yeah.
society wants us to run.
So true, Gabriella. And I want to add another layer, another level of authenticity to this. My tool called the multi-sensorizing self-talk tool is a way for any presenter, any speaker, any human who is ready to communicate something passionate, something precious to another person or a group or an audience or a dear
Hmm.
friend or a partner, to authenticize, to authorize one's own communication before even saying the outer communication, to
Hmm.
fully get into that zone. Let's take the same expression, because we all have creativity, playfulness, and transformational energies with us. So when
Yeah.
I take that further, then I do all kinds of other things to get myself into a receptive state, like a radio antenna, where I pick up the frequencies that tap into my deepest intuition, my highest visions, my inspiration, my wisdom and awakening, things that I never would if I didn't get into the zone. So I'm going to give you a few different ways of practicing that you already just mentioned. One is singing. So I
Hmm.
often encourage people not to be silly or to be a performer or to look good, but to fully inhabit the embodiment of what it is to be a fully expressed self. So I'm going to do that with the three key words, and I'm going to do it this time singing with the gestures. First, I'm going to sing it. They're going to make it louder. They're going to make it softer. So different ways of multisensorizing, embodying this self-talk so it is cemented and embedded in the permanent recall in the muscle memory. So here we go. I am creative, I am playful, I am transformational. I am creative, I am playful, I am transformational. I am creative, I am playful, I am transformational. Did you notice how much more authentic it became by practicing that regular, loud, and then soft going inwards? Because the truth is, it's an inside job. It's an inside job. The truth is, it comes from the inside. And when we can
Yeah.
truly authenticize anything we have to say outside, even if we memorize a speech, sing the speech, whisper the speech, do it in mime, do it with mouthing, do it in gibberish. I know what
I
I'm
love
saying,
it.
and you know what I'm saying too, because we've been
I do.
practicing
I
together.
do. I do because I had some visions before that kind of gave me some songs, and then the words might not make any sense, or it's maybe in some kind of ancient language that I don't know, and I sing it all the time. And one of the words is called Akino Pale Napinan, and I don't know what is it means, but it feels right to say it, and it's a song that I created for the earth, and I have one that I created for the river and different kind of things, and I sing those all the time, and there's words in there that maybe doesn't make any sense to anybody else, but it feels right to me, so I sing it all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. Picking up on where piggybacking on what you're saying now, I often encourage people to hone in to that rhythm, to that rhyme, to that
Hmm.
song that refines an expression. So let's say I feel a certain sound or movement coming through me. It could be anything. So I'm going to
Hmm.
go. Let's say A-E-I-O-U, because we've been doing that today. A-E-I-O-U, over and over until, because when something's fully expressed, it naturally becomes something else. Watch this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but we're going to practice it. A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O, A-E-I-O, A-E-I-O-U. If I didn't have to censor what I'm here to say, my words would just waft through and fill the air anyway. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to rhyme. Yet if you allow the rhythm to take over, the wisdom comes through fine. So, I do that. And we all can do that because
I love it.
underneath the sound is the wisdom, is the creativity that's beyond thought, beyond thinking, beyond preparation, beyond practice, beyond memorization. There's a wisdom. And by saying something over and over in multi-sensoring ways, we reach more levels of connection with those who are visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners, people who learn in different ways, people who present in different ways. So this is my whole way of teaching, that by taking a key phrase that is your self-talk and your three key words and multi-sensorizing it, I, you, he or she, we and they, those five pronouns, and then I speak, I shout, I whisper, I mouth, I mime, I gibberish, I sing, I write, and then those 12 ways, any one of them, maybe one that triggers me, maybe even just the gestures, to come into that authentic moment before I step on the stage of this moment that has a particular need, a calling. This moment has a calling. It's not just what I want. What does this moment need? What does these humans need in this interaction? What does our earth need? And so by tapping into that wisdom, there's a beautiful connectivity through what I'm encouraging you who are listening and watching to do, multi-sensorizing your core essential three key words or self-talk. Then anything you say comes from this deeply felt oh my goodness, the person is so real. And yet at the same time, we're all perfectly imperfect. We don't have to rehearse to be ourselves, but it's good to practice getting into the zone to be receptive to our deepest wisdom, our highest calling, our highest wisdom, our deepest calling without having to think about it first. Out comes such witty, warm, whimsical, wise words.
I love it, Dr. Gary, especially the multisensory learning, because I think there's so many people, like the old ways of learning is just like, you do a presentation and you read it or speak it or whatever. But I think by creating this multisensory experience, it's more embodied and it's more easy to understand when we do that. And we kind
So
of
true.
learn with our whole being instead of just trying to sit in a boring lecture, and not understanding what is actually happening.
Well, again, piggybacking on what you're saying, one of the things that I find very useful, very productive, very profoundly passionate and playful and helpful in meetings, even if I have a speech that I'm going to deliver, a poem, a song, anything that I've been practicing, rehearsing that means a lot to me, when I practice it, and as I often do here in the top of the mountain, and I'll practice a speech I'm about to do or something that I'm rehearsing that's going to be on camera that's really important. I recently did that with a keynote at the Cambridge University in the UK. I had a particular 20-minute speech that was the essence of my entire over 50 years of developing my craft as a presentation coach. And I've told stories and showed interactive examples as well as applying to the audience in ways that I would speak to the audience. There were no kangaroos particularly on that I could see at the time. It didn't matter if the trees were listening or the bees or the birds were listening. I spoke it as though they were there, and I would interact with the tree or the bird in the tree or the sound in the air as though they were my audience in a playful, proactive way. And then the speech, when I actually got onto the physical stage and the actual moment that it was being recorded, was so much more effective because I practiced it so many times that I could let go of rehearsing it. I could let go of trying to get it right. But by saying it and embodying it and embedding it within my cellular memory, then what I spoke came again from this authentic place because I let go of trying to figure it out. I already played with it. I took it to one of my techniques, the double extreme of loudest and softest, using the full, as you see what I'm doing with the physical stage, from your left to your right, my right to my left, moving through time from your point of view. The audiences who are in Western cultures, we are trained when we write to write. When we write from left to right, we're trained to think that the right is towards the future. So when I go like this in front of an audiences, from your left to your right, I talk about time. So in those 20 minutes, I was able to share 5 to 10 of my key teaching tools that I developed over the years with great examples and connecting with the audience at the same time. How could I do that? By practicing it over and over until it became so concise, so refined. I didn't have to think about it anymore. I became it. I became the speech because I wrote the whole thing in the first place anyway. We don't have to rehearse, yet it is good to practice and then let go of the form. And it comes through then in its own spacious, special way without having to go. It has to be a certain way. Perfect practice is more important than looking good or getting it right. Then the perfect imperfection of our deepest humanity shines brilliantly through.
I love it. And is there somewhere where we can watch that keynote speech, or would you be willing to share a little bit from it? That's what you have done there.
Well, I do have, and I can put it as a link that I can
Okay.
send to you. I'll
Yeah.
send you one with, kind of a combination of my bio and my offerings, including the keynote speech. Also, my YouTube channel, I have that particular speech is one of
Oh,
the
great. All
many
right. So we can
I
just add the
have.
link to this
Oh yeah, I have
video.
hundreds of
Okay.
different live. If you for watching, listening, um, are able to then subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll see hundreds of videos, including AEIOU, that particular waterfall technique that I practice, the sound meditation, that's there. The keynote, look up the word keynote under the YouTube, and you'll come up with that as well. I have hundreds of tools that will tantalize, tease, and bring you to the next level. I'm all about bringing you and your presence station, I love to play with words, to the next level in how you come across. So yeah, I will share that with you gladly in the notes, and you can easily look it up in the search bar in my YouTube channel as well. These are things we all can practice, and for me, it's a moment to moment practice. It's not like I don't practice every day. I practice every moment that I'm conscious. It's a bit of an obsession, yet for me it's so much fun. It gets me constantly above my head. I have the words get into the zone. That's it. Get into the zone. Get into that place of unfamiliar familiarity, that place of perfect imperfection. People love it when we see another break down and then break through. We love it. We learn so much by being willing to share, not just the dirty laundry, but to share the feelings of darkness, of despair, of heartache, of joy, the full range of emotion. Then we feel like we're connecting with a human that is you, man, that is, that's got you more, that's got more of you coming through. Yes, more nuance of nuance. And yeah, I love to play with words. That's one way I've taken my gymnastic ability, and I now do it with words. At age 75, I'm a little more subtle with the body and a lot more expressive with the words. One thing you might notice when you speak, if you allow the words to come from a more deeply felt place, even a gentler and quieter place for emphasis, then your gestures are louder. They can be. And when the gestures are louder and the voice is softer, people feel what you're saying as you show what you're telling. Even more important than saying it the right way or cleverly getting the verbal words. No, the verbal words aligned with the vocal sounds and the visual gestures. Yes, I've practiced that quite a bit. When in alignment, create this authenticity that people feel in their bodies. And no one can question, oh my goodness, it's an inspiration to witness another who's modeling that behavior. It's all about practice and then letting go of the practice, and you show up as fully yourself because you don't have to keep rehearsing what you've been practicing for so long. Safe to be myself. It's safe for me to share my wisdom, my message, and my voice with you. That's something you can practice. Say it out loud with me. It's safe for me
It's safe for me
to share my voice,
to share my voice,
my message,
my message,
and my wisdom with you.
and my wisdom with you.
Yeah, and you do it in your own way. I do it with
Yeah,
gestures that match because I train myself to do that. So
of
I
course.
teach what I'm showing. It's a wonderful practice. So, I just woke up a couple of hours ago. Now I'm fully awake.
Yes, you are. And thank you so much for teaching us all these great tools about authenticity and what you have learned and what you shared with so many people. And I have watched many of your videos online and I love them. So we'll definitely add the links and hopefully other people will subscribe and join and see your work. And I think
I'm
authenticity is
also
also kind of like the way you live and where you are. So I would love if you share a little bit about, you know, about the mountain where you are and the people you surround yourself with and how's your daily life there. I think that would be very a great interest for a lot of people if you're willing to share a little bit about that.
sure. Uh, Here I am at the top of a mountain, 550 meters above sea level here, a couple of hours south of Brisbane, Australia, about 2, 3 hours west into the mountains from the East Coast, where Byron Bay is, way up in what's called the Scenic Rim mountain range. And here is a community, around 40 people, including children, 5 or 6 families. And I'm one of the elders. And we have events, weekly lunches. I'm in charge of events. I love creating movies and creating opportunities. About 2 days ago, I invited people from another community, an intentional community in New Zealand, to speak with us about a cool color system where people hold up different color cards during meetings to suggest, I can't vote on this, or I have a point here, or yellow card. I have a question here, or a blue card. I have something to add. Fantastic. And we were connecting with the people in our community that we have questions, because we have conflict like every community. And it was wonderful to see the engagement of people from wise elders from another community that could share this wisdom. But here, my basic day is, I wake up, I do my morning exercises, I drink my apple cider vinegar with gargling it with salt water, so I massage and affect the vagus nerve. I do my movement meditations. I have a cuppa, and I pull some tarot cards, and then I'm ready to rock and roll with whoever a lot of people I meet now is online, because we are 3 hours from the nearest town, nearest real city. And then throughout the day, I have sometimes people come visit. I have quite a few online sessions. I do my waterfall practice. At one point during the day, I jog, I swim in our dam, I do acrobatic exercises, and I sit in the waterfall and I do my AEIOU. And then I come back and I'm so inspired and I'm so present and I'm so passionately present to whoever and however I connect with people, often online. And it's a very full day, and it's also very quiet. It's so quiet here. There's nobody around except, there's a few neighbors. Maybe I'll see 1 or 2 of them throughout the day. But I've come to appreciate, since I moved off grid almost exactly 4 years ago, the sacred silence stillness. In fact, I never had a relationship with aloneness before that I realize has the same roots of the word all oneness within the word aloneness. And for me, this has been a game changer, because I was always, up to now I'm 75, coming up this year, I was always entangling myself in one of 4 marriages, or this must be the one forever, or who can I get to be my client, or what great painting can I create. I was so busy, trying to prove myself out of a deep sense that I wasn't enough. So here at the top of the mountain, off grid, totally off grid, we got the sun, we got the water from the source of Australia's water. I've reached a new quality of connection with self, myself, that allows me to connect with you, yourself, and the self of which we are all a part, like I've never known in my life. But I had to get away from all the busyness. Born in New York City, you can take the boy out of New York, but you can tell from my energy, New York out of the boy. Yet here I've reached a sense of sublimity, and sacred grace. I'm finally at peace with my life and all the ways that I connect with fellow humans, but I'm connecting with myself first. That's when I was joking earlier, I say it's an inside job. I wasn't kidding. It's speaking from the inside out. And this is what, for me, to complete our conversation, authenticizes every communication. Speaking to myself, place one of your hands at the base of your spine. Speaking to that place, saying these words, it's safe for me. It's safe for me to reach
It's safe
you,
for me
with my voice, my
to
message,
reach you
and my
with my
wisdom.
voice, my message.
And
Yeah.
my wisdom. And that's going down and in rather than
Mm-hmm.
trying to reach out. By going down and in first, I receive the message first, and then it translates to everyone. So this is what I practice here at the top of the mountain in this community, far away from almost everything. Yet the strange thing is, Gabriella, it's bizarre. Since I moved here 4 years ago, I have traveled more around the world than I've ever
Yes.
traveled in my life. And I'm more alone and more connected with the all oneness. I've traveled to Cambodia, to Thailand, to the UK, to Canada, to Los Angeles, to Vietnam. What else? To places that I never knew I could go to. By being more inwards, I'm now connecting more outwards. This is my point. And so here at the top of the mountain, I've reached a state of, again, sublimity, silence, sacred grace that I never knew because I was always so busy.
So
So to
busy.
answer your
Yeah.
question, yeah, too busy.
And
And now,
I love that, at no matter what age, I mean, you were 71 then, right? When you moved to the mountain. So at
yeah.
any age, somebody can make that decision to kind of just change everything and do the life, that they truly want to do, to
And
find
again,
themselves.
to find out what's authentic, for
Yeah.
me, it was the energy. When the
Uh-huh.
energy went up with the feeling of I'm going to move off grid, I didn't think about it rationally, pros and
Yeah.
cons and dollars
Mhm.
and security. No, 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 no. The body has so much more wisdom. I felt it. I
Mhm.
felt the sense of the wisdom of what making this move versus staying where I was going to be.
Yeah.
And you who are listening and watching, when you feel the energy go up and your head move more fluidly in its socket, the eyes as well, and the feeling of the fluidity, I trust, say this after me, I trust what I deeply know,
I trust what I deeply know,
my thoughts,
my thoughts,
my words,
my words,
my actions
my actions
fully, freely flow.
fully, freely flow. I love it.
Hip, hip, hurrah! Hip,
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 hurrah!
hooray.
Right. So it's, feeling the hero, row, the hero, row.
Yeah,
Life is what we theme. So I'm a playful character, and we all are underneath the seriousness that we think we have to be.
absolutely.
No, the authenticity is already there. It's just removing everything else. And guess what's left? That shining essence. That's who we truly are. So it's such a beauty and a grace and a lovely feeling of being able to make such a difference with you and whoever is witnessing this. I'm also happy to share for anyone who wants to have a complimentary um, booking with me to see how you can authenticize these in your own nature, in your own authentic way in your life. I'm happy to give you a complimentary 20 minutes or half an hour to help you guide you to fully fulfill, not just fulfill, full fuel your divine, delicious, passionate, precious presence here. Thank you so
I love
much.
it. And we do have to mention that you also do a little bit of astrology.
I do. I love the art of astrology. And in astrology, what I've learned to do over studying this for over 50 years is combine the natal chart, the predictive, what's coming over the next 12 months, a synastry reading for you, whoever you are in relationship with other systems, the Sabian symbols that a clairvoyant named Elsie Wheeler in 1930, nearly 100 years ago, came up with the images for all of the 360 degrees in the zodiac. So when a planet or a transiting planet, either in your natal born chart or what's happening in the sky right now, moves through a certain position connected to where you're living, it brings out a certain quality of connection, of connectivity, of wisdom, of wakefulness, of being able to make a better decision about navigating through present challenges, themes, and opportunities. So I combine all of this in a Zoom astrology reading. And for those who are interested, it's my passion to dive deep into your psyche and to help you, again, fully fulfill your
And you
divine
do it
human
so
purpose
well. I
here.
know because I have received such a reading twice now,
Oh,
and I love them. And
what did you
yeah,
love
I
about
know.
it, Gabriella? What did you
Um,
love?
just they just seem so natural and easygoing, and no, like, kind of like a pressure-free zone, yet give some guidance. And you also um, tell what to look for the future and kind of send a really good detailed information about it. And it's just kind of fun and just a different perspective, you know.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. I know that you do have to go because you have another meeting coming up in a few minutes, so I don't want to keep you, but I'm looking forward for our next session, and I'm very excited about the book we're going to work on together. And I really appreciate you coming and talking about authenticity and sharing your tools and joys with the people who are listening now and who are going to listen in the future. And we'll make sure to add all the links in YouTube and also on the Substack channel so people can find you. Thank
Thank
you so
you
much,
so much.
everybody who came and joined us today, and for those who are watching in the future. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Talk soon. This is where it all begins.